I once laughed when someone told me about quantum entanglement and love. I thought, that's esotericism with scientific vocabulary. That's it. Then I read what the 2022 Nobel Prize winners really said. And since then I can't laugh so easily anymore. Einstein was wrong. That changes everything. And I'll tell you why that's connected to what you shared with her. Sophie from Hamburg told me her story. And I won't forget it. Her cat Bruno was her shadow for 12 years. Everywhere. Always. When he died, Sophie described the feeling that so many know. As if it wasn't just him who was gone, but as if someone had taken a part of her with them. I'll explain to you what science really says about this. It will surprise you. Not comfort, not philosophy, physics, neurology, and then you decide for yourself. In 2022, 3 scientists received the Nobel Prize in Physics in Stockholm. John Clauser, Alain Aspect, Anton Zeilinger, for a discovery with enormous consequences. Quantum entanglement is real, proven, final. What does that mean? 2 particles can be connected to each other, across any distance. What happens to one affects the other. Instantly, without a time delay. No signal travels between them. No information. Simply connected. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, and tried to explain it away. He was wrong. Zeilinger proved it. The Nobel Prize confirmed it. And now I ask you, what if love has the same structure? When you look at your cat, and she looks at you, something happens in the brain. The brainwaves synchronize. In dogs, this was documented in the journal Advanced Science in 2025. Human and animal, one brainwave for this moment. Completely connected. That is not a poetic image. That is neurology. Sophie told me that Bruno always knew when she was sad. Without her saying anything, without her moving. He was just suddenly there. On her lap, purring, before the first tears came. That is no coincidence. That is quantum coupling between 2 nervous systems. And a coupling that exists for 12 years, that doesn't just disappear. Steve Ramirez and Shu Lu from MIT discovered something revolutionary in 2012. Memories are not abstractions. They are physical structures in the brain. Synaptic connections, real, measurable, photographable structures. Every time you played with Bruno, a new connection was made. Every time he purred on your chest, a new connection was made. These structures are still in your brain today. Physically. Detectable. Bruno is not gone. He is in you. As an architecture that no forgetting can dissolve. The MIT researchers even artificially reactivated these structures. It is possible to activate these structures. They feel real. Because they are. When Bruno's purring was on your chest, do you remember how that felt? That warmth, that weight, that specific sense of rhythm. In that moment, your oxytocin rose to the same level as when hugging a newborn. That is measurable biochemistry, not a sentimental construct. This oxytocin affected your immune system, your blood pressure, your sleep quality. Bruno changed your biology. Every day, for 12 years. These biochemical changes are not gone. They are encoded in cells and DNA methylation. Sophie told me that she sleeps differently since Bruno's death. Not necessarily worse, just differently. As if something is missing that kept the rhythm. And then we come to the part that 80% of all affected people know. 80% of people report at least one sign after the loss of a beloved animal. After-death communication, ADC, is a documented phenomenon, not an esoteric concept. It often begins in the first nights, then sporadically over months. Sophie told me about one night 3 weeks after Bruno's death. She was lying in bed. no sound, no animal, just the silence of the room. And then this weight on her chest. Warm, familiar, unmistakable. No animal was there, but the weight was there. The purring, almost audible. She didn't cry, she just reached out her hand, into the void, and smiled. I would now like to introduce you to something that goes beyond physics, but not far from it. Bernardo Kastrup, philosopher and scientist. His concept: analytic idealism. The core thesis: consciousness is not a product of the brain. Consciousness is the foundation of reality itself. The brain is a receiver, not a creator. If that is true, and Kastrup argues it rigorously and publishes, then something decisive happens. If Bruno's consciousness didn't originate in the brain, then it doesn't end there either. The brain stops. Consciousness transforms, returns to what it came from. The Bardo-Thodol, quantum physics, Kastrup, 3 sources, 3 eras, the same direction. Not planned together, developed independently, and yet, the same. Einstein was wrong about quantum entanglement. That is not trivial. Einstein was the smartest physicist of his generation, and he was wrong. What he was wrong about: connected things stay connected, across any distance, forever. And now ask yourself, what if love has the same physics? Not metaphor, not poetry, a connection that knows no distance and no end. Every time you think of Bruno, your brain activates the same structures as back then. The brain doesn't distinguish between memory and presence. That is its limit. But maybe that is also its deepest wisdom. Sophie asked me the decisive question at the end of our conversation. If the connection doesn't end, what do I do with my grief? I thought for a moment. Then I said, you carry it differently. Grief is the knowledge that you love, not the end of the connection. The proof. Bruno is in every synapse that ever fired with him. In every breath. He is in the oxytocin that made him. In the rhythm he shaped for 12 years. He is in the way you feel now when you think of him. That is not a metaphor. That is biology. Close your eyes now, just for a moment. You don't have to do anything. Just feel what is still there. The weight, the purring, the warmth. Is it gone? Or is it just quieter than back then, and you're just listening for the first time? Einstein was wrong. Maybe that is the kindest sentence physics has ever produced. Quantum entanglement does not separate. It connects. And this connection, you have it with her.